Pressure drop pallet notes.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got one here that was kindly donated to me by a mate, my mate Julian. You've probably heard of him before. He's the one that wears the sparkly hot pants and the boob tube. He doesn't really. He's going to fucking kill me when he hears that. But he kindly gave me two of these from the Pressure Drop Brewery, and they're both New England IPAs, and the other one's in the fridge. But he's tried them. Apparently they're very, very good. Now, Pressure Drop come from a place in London called Tottenham. That's where I'm from. I grew up there. I lived there most of my life. I've been in Kent now, I think 4 or 5 years, I think it is. But yeah, Tottenham was my home for 46 years, 45 years, I don't know, I can't remember. It was around that sort of time. And these opened up their brewery just down the bottom of my old road, next to the Beavertown Brewery. These two are very close. The breweries are literally within spitting distance. They're on the Lockwood estate, which is in Tottenham, near Tottenham Marshes, and I spent my formative years as a young kid setting fire to them, looking for scrap metal, getting into fights and doing things that I shouldn't do, including drinking bottles of cider and smoking fags. Anyway, enough about that. This was bought from a shop that is, I should say, part of Hertford North Station. Now, Hertford North is obviously in Hertfordshire. There's a shop there called Mind the Gap. This is where my mate Julian got the beer from. He keeps telling me about it, and he sends me photos of all the beer that they stock, and they do a fantastic range of craft beer. Now, I'm not endorsed by these people. I've never been there, but he said if you could give him a mention, because the fella in there is really decent. He gets in all the beers, and if you want stuff, he gets it in for him and all that. But the range they do is really good. I mean, it's not your average station shop, if you know what I mean. They sell alcohol, but they sell stuff like this, all local brewery produce. I've seen stuff in there from the Tring Brewery, which is just up the road. They do some really good stuff. There's obviously stuff from Beavertown. There's stuff from there because Hertford North is on the same train line from Tottenham. You can get a train direct to Hertford North. But yeah, it's worth checking out if you're in that area. Check that shop out. Just jump off at Hertford North. Shop in the station. It's called Mind the Gap. And they do all this good stuff that you're seeing here. So let's stop gassing. Let's get this beer checked out. Right, this is a New England IPA. It is a hefty 7.4%, which is what you would expect from a New England IPA. There is the can. I think this is my first one from Pressure Drop. I don't think I've had one from them before. Now, they've been going since 2013, originally based in Hackney and then moved to Tottenham. I don't know whether that's an upgrade or a downgrade. On the back it says, the brewer's palate is finely honed, selecting flavours of aromas from the artist's palate and hops. Once the beer is made, it is lovingly placed on the pallet and shipped out to be enjoyed fresh. Yeah, Unit 6, Lockwood Industrial Park, N17. Serve cool, drink fresh. Hops, Sabro, Simcoe, Mosaic. I'll get onto them in a sec. And it just says hazed, juiced and tropicalised. That doesn't mention the malt in there, but being in New England, you wouldn't expect that anyway. But let me just quickly go over the hops. They're using Sabro hops. The Sabro hops are a recent introduction. They're a trademarked hop that have been devised, if you like, and they're being used in a lot of new and expensive craft beers. They've got some really interesting flavours in these hops that you can get. There's obviously fruit. There's a lot of citrus fruit, stone fruit. There's cedar mint aromas and flavours. You've got tangerine, coconut, stuff like that. You know, it's a really sort of complex and quite sweet tasting and fruity hop. Then of course you've got Mosaic, which is, you know, the standard, legendary, up there with Citra. All the good beers that I've had, like IPAs, pale ales, any, you know, American style, big citrus flavoured beers, I have seen and I have tasted, all contain Mosaic, and Adnams do a single Mosaic IPA, which is really good. And they just use Mosaic in it, and it really stands out. I think it's a pale ale, it's not an IPA. Have I got it here? No, I haven't got it here. It's probably in there somewhere. But check that out. It's Mosaic IPA, really good. And of course the last hop is Simcoe. Now Simcoe, you use that for bittering. It does have some citrus and pine, and some people say you get berry aromas, like sort of raspberry, strawberry, etc. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it is quite a good bittering hop, and that's used quite a lot in IPAs. So with that in mind, let's get this open. Right, as I say, first one from the Pressure Drop Brewery. Never had one from them before. Get into the glass. Now, of all the American IPA styles, or New England is definitely my favourite. It really is a good one. Wow. I can get the aromas from here. Super strong tangerine and grapefruit. And pineapple as well. God, it's just wafting out. It's very sweet and juicy. There's a little touch of pine on there, I'm getting that. But grapefruit, pineapple, citrus, orange. Wow, this really is a fruit fest on there. And it does look good. That looks like a typical New England IPA. Cloudy, 2-finger, white, tightly packed foam on that head there. It looks bright orange, but it's not. It's like a murky style yellow. And then I don't know if you can see that or not. The light is probably going to change that in the camera. It smells absolutely amazing. Honestly, I'm getting the aromas even from here. So this, I think, is going to be a good one. Let's get it down the hatch. Bottoms up. Wow, that is really good. Really flavoursome. There's quite a bit of pine and grapefruit on there. There's like a slight undercurrent of bitterness, like lemon or lime bitterness as well, I'm getting from there. But on top of that, there is just a ton of orange, tangerine, and apricot, peach, that type of flavour. No hint of malt whatsoever. This is almost like a fruit cocktail. And to be honest, I don't think you'd notice that the ABV was so high at 7.4. Really is a nice one though. Mouthfeel is really good as well. And I'm wondering if they put wheat in here. They don't mention it. But usually, oh, there you go. Just seeing it here. Contains barley, oats and wheat. I'm getting that. I'm getting that in the mouthfeel. I'm getting that in a slight creamy taste, which you get from oats when you put oats into, especially these, you know, big bitter IPAs. In these big, juicy, fruity IPAs. It's really nice. Really good. Now, I'm not sure how much that was, but I do know that their stuff is not cheap. But, as I always say, I do not mind paying for good beer. And I have to say, this is a really good New England. It's not the best New England I've tried, but it's certainly a good one. And I really like it. So what's the verdict on Pallet Notes by Pressure Drop? Well, I'll tell you something. This is the first one I've had from Pressure Drop, and it's a bit shameful on me. You know, they're from Tottenham. That's, you know, that's where I'm from, and I do like to keep up with, you know, what's going on down there. But they're not bad. That, I have to say, is a really nice one. Now I've got another one in the fridge that my mate has given it to me, and if it's anything like this, then they're really good. I really like this. It's got everything that a good New England should have. They've kept true to the style. There's a lot of good juicy hops in there, a lot of fruit flavours. There is an overtone of bitterness on there, but that's sort of in keeping with New England as well. You do get that hop bitterness, which I'm assuming is coming from the Simcoe, the bittering on the Simcoe. You can sort of really get that because, you know, on the Simcoe you've got pine as well. I'm getting the pine too. All in all, I have to say that is a really good one. I am going to give that a 9 out of 10 as New England's go. Now, I don't know the price on this. I should have looked up the price before. That probably could have influenced how much it was going to get, or how much rating it was. But on its own merits, that is not a bad beer. As New England's go, that is a really nice one. And as I say, they've kept to the style, and it's doing everything that a New England should do. And I'm definitely going to recommend it. And if you're, as I say, if you're in Hartford North, you can get them direct from the shop, so you don't have to, you know, get them on mail order. You don't have to go to the brewery. Sometimes these, especially like stuff like Pressure Drop and all that, is quite hard to get hold of if you're not buying it online. But yeah, I really like it. Recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.